Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. I'm Matt Atchity, editor-in-chief of Rotten Tomatoes. This is Christy Lemire, film critic from the AP. Alonso Duralde, film critic from TheWrap.com, who did not see Anna Karenina. But
you're going to hang out. But you're a very studied and literary gentleman. We want you to stay with us. And you read it in Russian, did you not?
And he is Russian.
No.
Я не знаю ничего.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, right. Did you read this in Russian?
Я говорю по-русски очень немного. Я не знаю. Anyway, I'm done. So that's all we're going to do in Russian today. This is the Russian portion of our show. So this is Joe Wright's wacky, ambitious adaptation of Anna Karenina, which has been brought to the screen like a dozen plus times. The trick here is that he stages the entire thing as if it were all taking place within this decaying theater. The notion being that the high society of St. Petersburg in Imperial Russia in 1874, they live their lives as if they were on stage. And it's very studied and very subconscious. So Keira Knightley is the title character, Anna Karenina, who would seem to have it all, a great place in society, and a husband, and a great son. But she falls for this young and dashing cavalry officer. He's an officer? Yes. Anyway, he gets to wear a pretty suit. And so she has this brazen, adulterous relationship that totally threatened her standing, and everyone stands around and sort of like flutters their fans and looks disapprovingly at her. Take a look.
I was 18 when I got married, but it was not love.
So I've not read Anna Karenina. I'm just going to put it out there.
Neither have I.
All right. But I was totally wowed by the ambition of this. And I love the fact that he will try something so daring, so complicated from a technical standpoint, from a choreography standpoint. I mean, it's gorgeous. I mean, it's like they're on a stage, right? So set pieces slide in and create a room around them, or a character's walking across the floor
and
they're dressing him while he's walking. And it's very show-offy.
Well, and as someone who hadn't read this, I thought, is there a play element to this? Like I liked that in the beginning, and I thought it did that sort of effectively from the get-go. And I liked it, certain scenes where the camera would pan around someone and the set would get reset behind them. I kind of like that.
It's
and
impressive.
then he abandons it. I felt like he kind of completely abandons it. As the movie, halfway through the movie, you stop that. And
there's still moments where like the back of the stage will open up and there's like, the countryside or whatever.
A little bit, but I felt like it was much more, I felt like it was inconsistent. I kind of see what he was, I felt like it worked better at the beginning of the movie. And then by the end, or at least partway through it, he kind of stopped doing that much. Like there's a lot bigger sets. You really started to feel like you were in that world and less part of the set. And maybe that's what he was going for, but I found it like, oh, well, okay, you got into this at the beginning and then you got bored with it. And I got bored with this movie.
Did you?
I
It's a little long.
I dozed off.
But it's a huge book. So.
Here's my question. Okay. When you do these sort of Brechtian distancing techniques and you're reminding the audience that they are seeing a theater piece, and not allowing them themselves to get lost in the story, there's usually some other point behind that. Like, either you're trying to like not let the audience off the hook or you're trying to make some sort of political statement or whatever. Is there a point to this or is it just sort of showing off?
I think the point is what Christy said earlier about kind of, people living this very public stage life, so to speak.
Well, there's that, but I think also they don't necessarily want us to sympathize with Anna for her indiscretion, right? I mean, different tellings of it have different perspectives on her actions. And so I think here they're saying that her undoing is her own fault.
Sure.
And she's not a victim of society. She's not been murdered by this. I mean, she
sucks.
Right.
I mean,
she does suck. I mean, she wants to leave her husband. She wants to leave her husband and her son because she's finally truly in love for the first time, and it's very impulsive and passionate and whatever. But being the time and place that it was, divorce was not necessarily a sympathetic thing for women, and so she's not a victim of circumstance. She's a victim of her own indiscretion.
Right. But I think that this movie doesn't do a good job of painting her as a tragic hero. Like there have been movies and there are stories that can get told where somebody is responsible for their own downfall, and you still kind of at least empathize with them. And at this point, I felt no empathy for her at all.
No, I didn't either. And a lot of that is because of the distancing.
And honest to God, this movie I did something in this movie that I have not done in a movie in probably 7 or 8 years.
Do you want to tell us this?
I dozed off. And to me, like, if I've dozed off in a movie, fail.
Had you not had any coffee yet that day?
No,
You were just bored?
No, I didn't care.
I did not care either, and that is the problem. And it's beautiful and it's impressive. I mean, if you thought that the big long trekking shot in Atonement was show-offy, I mean, this is a whole movie like that. But because it is so self-conscious, it does keep you at arm's length emotionally. So yeah, I didn't care what happened to her
I
either.
didn't feel like there was much chemistry between her and Vronsky.
Aaron Taylor,
Johnson.
he's now taking the Taylor.
It kept
name.
sounding like
Aaron Taylor
Bronsky, and I
Johnson.
thought, is that Bronsky
Like
beat?
Bronsky.
Tell me what?
Also, it's like, I mean, when you're constantly reminded that you're watching actors on a stage, that does make it more difficult to think about them as characters. If Anna Karenina at the end is throwing herself in front of what I imagine is a toy train, it doesn't have that same.
At some point, it is a toy train, not in
Really?
that moment, but
Yes.
at some
Oh,
point, the toy train becomes a real train, and there she is, zipping through the countryside in the snow in her fur. Yes.
I will say one of the few things I liked about this movie is her brother, Steva.
Yes.
And the actor
Matthew McFadden.
McFadden. I want to see a whole movie about that guy.
Yeah.
Because he was fun.
Yeah, and
I
he's
felt like
flawed.
he was flawed
Interesting.
and embraced his flaws and this very Falstaffian character. And I liked that, and I would like to see a whole story about him. The rest of it is just this melodramatic Russian epic that I couldn't get into.
Great supporting cast. You have Olivia Williams in like 2 scenes as Vronsky's meddlesome countess mother. You have Emily Watson in like 2 scenes. You have Shirley Henderson as this one pivotal role as the disapproving opera patron at the end who shuns
and
her.
who was it that played Steve's wife?
Kelly MacDonald.
Kelly MacDonald.
Oh, wow.
It's always good. So it's a really, really good cast, and it's beautiful from like a technical standpoint, from costume, from the sets, the lighting. But that's part of it too. It's like you can't really feel her suffering because the suffering just looks so pretty, right? Like the lighting is so beautiful, and her hair is arranged so artfully across the pillow as she's supposedly dying and whatever. Anyway,
I will throw out this: if you want a movie that is very, definitely a play and really set in a decaying theater and is about unhappy Russians, Vanya on 42nd Street just came out on Criterion Collection. Excellent movie. The Walshawn, Andre Gregory, the My Dinner with
Julianne
Andre
Moore
team.
too, right?
Julianne Moore's I think really breakthrough role. Terrific movie. Check it out.
actually, I was thinking this week for my list about movies where like the artifice is the art, right? Like Synecdoche
Dogville.
in New York or whatever. Yeah. So there you go. So we have numbers for you, and they are. Yours is really low.
3. Put me to sleep.
Mine's a 6, so we give it a 4.5 average. It's 63%.
63.
On the tomato meter. So it opens a limited release this weekend. It goes wider next weekend. So see it if you want to see something pretty.
Or if you need a nap.
Bye.